I'm just going to go over the week 2 requirements, and especially, considering that we're meeting for the first time on this next Saturday, make sure you have all this stuff done beforehand. The day will go so much better if you do. All right, so if you look at this, one of the things we're going to be talking about is Bloom's taxonomy. And I have a couple things that I want to show you about this and a couple ways I want to describe it. Um, there are a couple of resources to help you. One is this general document. If we go to week 2 and look in here, I have this document. I also have a PowerPoint that I added that gives kind of a representation visually of the different levels. So the main question is really, how well do you want your students to know things? And Bloom's taxonomy recognizes that, well, there are facts, there's basic recall, and then there's comprehension, and then there's the ability to apply that. And our cognitive capabilities really vary a great deal. And it's up to you, if you're working towards standards and so on, and you're covering any particular content, what do you want them to really know? Do they need to know the dates? Do they need to know the major players? Do they need to understand how things fit together or not? And so when we talk about the different levels of cognition, we're really talking about setting goals at these different levels and then thinking about how those different levels are really represented in a real way. And these just provide a visual to kind of supplement the writings about them and the examples I'm going to go through about them. So that's the first thing, looking at Bloom's taxonomy. I'm also sending a little video that has to do with this particular worksheet. And it's called Assessing Goals at Different Levels of Cognition, and I just give an example of a variety of different types of assessments. And so if you want to assess it, just recall what does that look like? If you want to assess at application, what does that look like? What are the pitfalls associated with those things? And so we're going to spend a lot of time, get a lot of practice trying to make assessments at these different levels of cognition. Um, so that really takes care of Bloom's taxonomy. So look at the sheet, watch the short video that I post about examples, and also look at that PowerPoint that's attached. The other two things are reading Willingham's How Knowledge Helps, which is a great article about how facts are important. A lot of times we say that, well, I just want students to have the conceptual understanding. Well, this kind of makes the point that the conceptual understanding is hard to have if you don't have any facts to back it up. The other article that I want you to read is about critical thinking and why is it so hard to teach. This is a great article by the same author about why it is that it seems to be so hard to get students to think critically. A lot has to do with background knowledge, a lot has to do with specific strategies, and a lot has to do with the fact that things are different. Thinking critically in math is different than thinking critically in a literature class, and that's different than thinking critically about your own life. It requires different skills, different strategies, and different background knowledge. So these are two really good articles, and there are two quizzes in D2L that are now active. So if you go to the quiz section, you will see those. Again, you can take these multiple times, maxing out at 90% if you don't get 85% or better first time around. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, that is it. Good luck, and I will see you next Saturday.